Hello everyone, my name is Himanshu Sharma, and in this video, we will continue with our Modulith journey. So we will write few more test cases and we'll see how we can test different modules. So let's get started. So this is actually part three of this Modulith journey. So if you guys did not went through module part one and part two, please go through that. And yeah, let's get started. So for now, we earlier we discussed about the two test cases where first we check the verification of our application structure, and the second one is responsible to showcasing the document how you can document the structure of your application. Okay, so now we are going to test the different modules. Okay, and for that, let's quickly run the test cases. And currently, I am not running any of my external service, whether it is a Kafka or a database for Postgres. So, in fact, my whole Docker is down. So let's run the test case and see what's going to happen. And as expected, it fails. The reason for that is that it is trying to look for the DB connections and all, which it is not getting. So let's add some embedded uh, connections in our test case, embedded dependencies, so that our test case should not look for any external configuration, external servers, and should be capable to run on their own. So let's head to POM XML, and here, first I'm going to add a dependency for my database. So let's head for H2, and then make sure the scope is for test. Okay. And then second dependency is for our Kafka. So we write Kafka test. And for this also, we make sure the scope remains within test only. All right. So let's update our project and head to our file and let's add um, uh, yeah, embedded Kafka. And we make sure that it is control shutdown is true. And then second one is our just auto configuration test database. And here we are looking for connection as H2. All right. So let's rerun the test and see what happens. Yeah, so this time test is successful. And now what I'm going to do is I will make one modification. So now we are doing module testing. So let's change this and let's add application module test. If you check in the module test, this one here, you can see you will still get Spring Boot test, but a lot more annotations. All right, so what this will do is it will treat this as a module test and it will load appropriate module. Okay, so now if I run my application again, it will still work. Sorry, the test case, it will still work. But now here, you can see that after bootstrapping, it is looking for the module it loads is Modulith demo. Modulith demo is what our parent structure, the parent folder, where this test case is in, right? So this one. Okay. So now let's do one thing. Let's add one internal data one, which is uh, a service component residing inside module one over here. Okay. And let's run the application and see what happens. Run the test case and see what happens. And see, it fails. And why it fails? Uh, it is looking for error creating bean with name this unsatisfied dependency internal data one. Now, why this happen? It happened because as we checked earlier, when we are using module test, it is loading only that module. Okay. So internal data one is actually part of module one. So since module one was not loaded and the only thing loaded is this one, so that's why you will not be able to auto wire internal data one. Okay. So with keeping that in mind, to test module one, let's create a directory over here, a package, module one. Okay. And then here, I'm going to write a class, uh, module one test this. And then I will just copy these 3 lines. I will take these 3 lines over there also. Okay, what happened? Oh, no, might be. All right. And then let's create a dummy test here for now. Void dummy and say dummy and let's rotate it with test and let's run this test case now. All right. So here we can see that when this module is when this test case is bootstrapped, it loads module one. And not only that, it will load accordingly according the way you structure your application. Since in my case, we have module one in and then we have module sub module one also, so it will load that part. So the whole module, sorry, so the whole module got loaded, this one. So here, if I try to import internal data one, I should not be getting any issue. I will just say this and run it. You should not complain that internal data one cannot be identified, right? It is working. Great. So now write our test case. Let's write our test case to test this process. So what is the responsibility of module one? Responsibility of module one is that when it exposes this API or yeah, this method, and if I invoke this method, it should internally call internal data one and send and emit an event named test event. So our test case will be like we will invoke this one and then we expect that test event got emitted. Okay, so let's head over here and let's change this one. Let's change test module one. All right, and in this you will get a scenario. You can use this one to test your modules. So this comes with your modular dependency only. Okay. So now for scenario, there are actually two things to consider. So scenario have two methods. One is uh, stimulate, and another one is publish. So stimulate we are going to use when our trigger point is actually a method invocation, which is going to be this one. Okay. And publish we are going to use where our trigger point is actually an event. So in module one, we are going to test is we call a method and then we expect that it emits an event. So in that case, we are going to use stimulate. In module three test case, we are going to publish an event and then expect that a particular method is invoked. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the stimulate now. So here, let's say scenario dot stimulate and then I expect, okay, so instead of internal data one, let's invoke the API itself. So let's invoke module one. And just to clarify one thing, so here I'm not going for mock MVC or testing the actual endpoint. Instead, what I will do is I will directly call this method. Okay, because our target is to check whether the event emission is happening or not. So let's go ahead and we say module1 API dot send event. Okay, and then let's do it like this, and then we say and wait event of type, and our event type was uh, test event, right? This one. Okay, so what we are saying is we will uh, stimulate, we will make this call and then we wait to get this event. And once we receive that event, we will say to arrive and verify. And here I'm going to say, let's say I got this one test event. And here you can write your assertions. So right now, what I'm going to say is assertions dot assert not null test event dot get ID. So what we are asserting is that I guess okay. So here what we are asserting is that when this test event emit, it should have some ID. Because if we just go back to the implementation, when this event is emitted, the ID is actually some UUID, right? So let's run our test case. Can delete this. Let's run our test case and see. All right, so our test case is executed and it is a success, right? And let's say we try to see the failure and let's say I run it again. I change it to null and let's run it. Okay, so it fails. Why it fails? It is saying that expected is null, but we have a UUID, right? So let's keep it right one. All right. So this is how we validate it. We just make a call and then we receive the event. So this ensures that this flow is working and this module uh, is performing its operation correctly. Okay. So now let's head to the test case and yeah. So let's rerun one more time as at not null success and yeah, we are good here. All right. So now let's do the testing for module 3. Okay, so here again, I'm going to create a new package for module 3. And then here, again, the same class, module 3 tests. Okay, and then again, we're going to use these three. Okay, and then we are going to use yeah, this is done. So we can close this one, and we are on. Let's on scroll, and let's head to the module 3 test. Okay, so it is the class file so far is same. The test case so far is same as initially module 1 was, but now we just need to add the module 3 test case. So in module 3, what happened was in module 3 we have this service component internal data 3. Okay, where we process this event uh, listener will get invoked for our test event and it will perform certain operation. So I added these lines. Okay, let me. Okay, let's keep it over here. So I added this small piece of code which was not there earlier. So what I did was I just created a Boolean variable event status. I created its getter, and then here I initially I'm setting it to false, and then once this is successful, I'm setting it to true. That's it, nothing else. Okay, so now what we have to test is that when the event emit, this method should execute, and then the event status value should be turned as true. Okay, so let's head to the test case, and here I'm going to auto wire internal data 3. We don't need the new, we just say auto wire internal data 3, and then we add test module 3. Okay, treating it with test, and here we are going to use publish. Okay, here we are going to use publish. Okay, and we need to emit an publish an event. So here, let me create one event, a new test. Wait, new test event, and again UUID dot random UUID dot to string, and then let's say from test. Okay, all right. So here we are publishing an event. Okay, and then once you publish it, we say that okay, wait for this event. And once I get this event, I need to verify. Okay, so I will add a consumer, let's say test event. And here actually I don't need the event object, but I need to assert on this internal data 3, right? So what I will do, I can just put an assertion here. Assertion dot assert true. And here what I'm going to check is whether internal data 3 event status, whether this is set to true or not. Okay. All right, so let's run the test case now. And you can see it is successful. And you can see here the logs also, test one received. This is the same thing which we we placed over here, event received, right? Event received, test received event. This. So this method got processed and the event status value turns to true, right? Which got asserted over here. Again, if I try to assert it as a false, it will fail. So we can say we try to do like this, it should fail, right? Yeah, it is working as expected. So let's change it back to true. All right, and let's run our whole suit. And it's a success. Okay, yeah. So this is a short one. So this is how you can test the scenarios where you want to emit an event and test whether the invocation happened or any other thing you want to validate. Like in our case, it was a very simple method, just printing it out. Maybe you have something which is returning, or maybe you have something which is actually emitting another event. So even that also you can handle over here. Okay. So you can, like, here I wait for test event. You might uh, change it to wait for another event which you expect to send, right? And then in module one test, we use the stimulate where you make a call or you are invoking some method from on a bean. Okay. And then you expect that, okay, with this method, in this process, I want an event to get emitted, and then I can perform my validation on that event. So you can do that way also. All right. So that's all in this video. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.